Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you my first practice game with Jund Souls of the Lost. This looks like a pretty good hand. We are looking to drink some people out with Hasty, Trampling, Gigantic Souls of the Lost, our Tarmogoyfs, or Questing Druid for that matter. Now, the Proving Ground is certainly not ideal. Hopefully we're not going to get hit by a Hasty Ragavan. Looks like we're playing Is It? Well, you never know with a Scalding Tarn. Domain, maybe? Okay. No, I have no idea what we're playing. So Bobble's pretty good. So the idea of this deck is that we're going to use Footfall Crater to sneak in some hasty attacks with big creatures or trample through, and we're going to make those creatures big by filling our graveyard with both card types and permanents. So we're playing the Tarmogoyf and the new Souls of the Lost that I've been testing out, and I have it in my Dimir deck. We'll run out of Bobble. I could try to see what our opponent's up to, but we'll probably just look at the top card of our library and then fetch it away if it's not something we want. Ragavan's good. I'm not sure we really need to. I have no idea what we're up against, so we'll just. We're going to save this to cycle away to draw a card if we want. Put a permanent in our graveyard if we hit the Souls of the Lost. See if they're. Alright, so it looks like we're just playing straight up control. So, will things resolve? Probably not. Looks like they were digging for our land and did not get it. So in step. Another Bobble. So with our opponent stuck on mana, I'm assuming no matter what we cast, it's going to be countered. And we only have so much action in our hand. So we could just pass the turn. We could Bobble, Verdant Catacombs. See what we're drawing again. We could see what they're drawing. See if they're going to hit a land or not. Stitcher Supplier. Yeah, I mean, right now we don't really have the motivation to mill ourselves. It's a good way to fill our yard if we had a nice 2-drop. So we have the green, we have double everything. Probably want a Blood Crypt, I guess. Opponent's probably like, this person is playing so slow. Oh, and we kind of are. So I think right now we're going to just Footfall Crater. On the stomping ground to see what happens. Our opponent probably, they may just counter it because they got nothing else to do with their mana, but they're not. They're going to stay disciplined. So we'll pass the turn and we'll seek the beast at the end of their turn to try to draw out a counter spell and then sneak in an attack with this Ragavan. See if they're going to cycle another Shark Typhoon to draw a card and dig for a land. They are. We could seek the beast now, but we kind of want to bait out a counter spell with it, to be honest. See what we're going to draw off the Bobble. I mean, we've drawn a couple extra cards. These Fatal Pushes are not looking that great against a control deck. They did hit their land. See if this draws out a counter spell. The nice thing about Footfall Crater and the Ragavan is that we get to another Questing Druid. We can just give it haste with another Lightning Bolt too. All right, which one of these is exiled? So we're going to play the land. I don't actually know. So is it this one? Is there a way to tell which one was exiled and which one can then be played as the adventure? It's really awkward, huh? The mountain was at the top. Well, guess we're going to find out. Could have given it haste. But now we're going to hold up. Hopefully we're holding up mana to seek the beast at the end of our opponent's turn again. And that we pick the right questing druid. I really don't know how to tell, though. So we'll do at the end of our turn is, again, seek the beast, hopefully. Oh, no. How did that... Okay. That's frustrating, unless I'm reading the card wrong. So they're going to... We couldn't bank it into a 3-3, but that's really not going to keep it alive. So, oh well. Bye-bye. That was frustrating. I'm very confused how we're supposed to know. Ooh, Wilderness Reclamation. All right, so it's that kind of deck. Well, we might be in trouble. They've hit their mana. They're going to be untapping every turn, holding up counter magic. We really need to hit some threats and no more fatal pushes unless they have creatures for some reason. Another Footfall Crater is not ideal. Cycle the Footfall Crater. Now the Ragavan's not bad. Might draw out a counter spell or a kill spell. Okay. See if they have another one. Do we want to play this land or not? Next turn we can cycle it for some action and put another permanent in the graveyard. So they're out of counter magic, it would seem. So what we really want is the Souls of the Lost, Hinterland Harbor. They might have wanted that. So we'll save the Proving Ground and hope to... 3 mana is a lot to cycle, but... Growth Spiral. Could just bolt, but I don't know. They may have some kind of creatures. This also might be an extra turns deck. Making the land drops now. Looks like they might be setting up for an extra turn. It's usually what plays Wilderness Reclamation the most. Oh, second one. All right, so they might just be going big. This gets really annoying. No offense to our opponent. I'm not saying the opponent's annoying, but this kind of untap, trigger, untap. They untap, tap everything with this trigger on the staff. Do it again and get a ton of mana and do something busted. Sure. I can't remember that name of that hybrid spell, but there's one that they used to play in Standard that would just wreck you. Do a bunch of direct damage. So now they're going to do it again. Get a whole bunch of more mana. Now are they going to take a bunch of extra turns? They're just going to draw a bunch of cards and then do it again. Okay, sure. I think we feel like we can probably just F6, but I think we're probably in some trouble, but we'll see. There's a lightning bolt. Sure, they found an answer. Now we really need we would love to hit a Souls of the Lost, and it may not resolve. I mean, they have all their mana untapped. Another lightning bolt. Lightning bolt tribal, and then what? Another land. Okay, well, we are definitely not running on all cylinders right now, and our opponent, while having only 3 cards, can flash this memory deluge back find their next great answer. They probably have some sort of, if they didn't find a finisher, whatever their finisher may be, they surely found a counter spell or kill spell. So whatever. We're hoping that they didn't find counter magic, instead found a bolt, because if we can get a Souls of the Lost, it would be pretty large. We have a lot of permanents in our graveyard. In fact, we only have permanents. It's always at the end step, because that's how they get the most mana out of it. Yeah, it's not also, it's just not a much, it's just really not fun to play against decks like this, to be honest. I mean, they have there's a risk to playing a deck like this, but once they get set up like this and we have zero pressure, yeah, like, little do they know that we have 3 lightning bolts in hand and can easily deal with this whole break horror. Now any spell they cast can basically function as a counter spell. Return target non-land permanent to owner's hand. I assume they're going to return this treasure token, or they'll return the Footfall Crater. We'll see. Yep, treasure token, bye-bye. They get to draw 2 cards. Seems good. I'm sure we're fine. We can get out of this, especially when we're drawing lands. So why don't we go ahead and bolt this guy. And we'll bolt that guy. And we will bolt that guy. And then they got hurt. So stupid. All right, we'll go ahead and go to sideboard. What a stupid game. I tell my kids are like, don't say stupid, and I try to tell them not to say stupid, but there is only one word for this game. I mean, we drew so awkwardly against most of the meta. That would have been a fine hand. I mean, we would have dirtled, but we would have answered every threat our opponent made. But not against a deck like this. All right, so we can bring in the Terra Sunders and the Assassin's Trophies, I guess, to answer their nonsense. Waters down our game plan. They're probably going to bring in Chalice of the Void or something. If I was them, they may already have it in the main deck. Well, Terra Sunders, Assassin's Trophies. I don't know. Take out the baubles. All right. Well, I mean, we did what we did. We drew a lot of cards. We saw a lot of cards. We just couldn't find any action other than 2 Ragavans. We had some of our pieces. All right, so here we have, I forgot Fatal Push. We should have taken out. Oh, well. That's why you play the games. So we can run out our Ragavan, put them to the test, follow it up with, we could do Stitcher Supplier to Souls of the Lost. Let's see if they have an answer for Ragavan. And if they do, that's 1 more permanent in our graveyard. I almost always play Ragavan first if I can, if it's my turn 1, for a turn 1 play. Because if our opponent doesn't keep a hand with removal, we get a hit in. If they, see, like for now, we'll get a hit in unless they somehow have Solitude or something like that. Another land is not exactly where we want to be at. So assuming we get the hit in, we can cast Stitcher Supplier and Souls of the Lost. Wilderness Reclamation? Oh, a counter spell's nice. So we'll hurt ourselves with this Overgrown Tomb. So what I've seen people, when I was playing against, oh no, so much action we just got rid of. Playing against people, they never sacked their Stitcher Supplier to this, which I think is pretty much the reason why you play Stitcher Supplier, to fill the graveyard and then get a 9/10. Like, what more do you want here, people? That's just a casual 9/10 on turn 2. Now you know why we're playing Haste, opponent. Hopefully they'll have a hard time answering something that's a 9/10. Man, we got rid of just Tarmogoyf, Souls of the Lost, Questing Druid. Those are our 3 just money payoff cards. All right, they're going to they might have something. So crashing our footfall. Sure. Get in there with that Renin 6. Get rid of that Ragavan. Having something with, and we have, no, it's a 10-11. It's about to be a 12. If we hit a Stitcher Supplier, we might just win on this turn. See if this is enough. I mean, this is a turn 3 hitting for 11. Maybe we want all 4 Stitcher Suppliers in our deck. Right now we only have 2. It's such a powerful card with this Souls of the Lost. I mean, we are against colors that shouldn't have just straight up hard removal, but they might play, like, I don't remember seeing white, and we win. All right, so turn 3 win. That's how we drew it up, folks. I didn't really talk much about the deck going in because we were already on the clock. But this is what we have, why we play Footfall Craters, even though we didn't see it that game. When we get a Stitcher, we had a turn 2 Souls of the Lost. And we want to be able to give that haste. And if we play it on turn 3 or turn 4, if our opponent taps out, they think they're safe. So we want to be able to give it haste, swing in for 1 hit when it's gigantic. I mean, this card is just busted in the right shell. All right, so Fatal pushes out. Could bring back in the baubles to try to keep ahead on. Or we can bring in the Assassin's Trophy, because I have a feeling they're going to bring in some graveyard hate of their own if they, I'm not sure what they, in their colors, what they're playing, but Endurance is instant speed, and there's nothing we can do about it with the kill spell, so I think they're playing Sultai. Maybe we bring back in the baubles. Maybe we just bring in the Assassin's Trophy to try to shut off their shenanigans. We'll bring in a bauble. Lots of removal against a deck that doesn't really play many threats, but we have answers. Those are all answers to Wilderness Reclamation. So this has a lot of action in just a single tab land. We could play that the next turn if we don't draw a land. Thoughtseize or Cycle to help dig for a land. I think we're going to mulligan this, unfortunately. So we have another 1-lander. We have a redraw, 2 Ragavans. Assassin's Trophy is good. What do we want to put on the bottom, though? Tarmogoyf? This is really not a great... Put Tarmogoyf and use, hopefully Seek the Beast will get us out of this if we don't hit a land. So they went to 6 too, or no, they kept the 7, so good for them. Land? Footfall Crater. Sad that we don't actually, I don't think it really matters. I guess if we'll just see what they're going to draw. That's a land. I'll run this out. Hopefully we'll hit a land off of this draw off the, we're really counting on this Mistress Bauble to find us a land. I think that's the one-off Stitcher Supplier that we can't cast. Now we're really hoping that this Ragavan gets a hit in, but that seems really unlikely. Land. A land. It's a land. Okay. Praise Jeebus. Assuming there's a bolt coming our way. We do have the Assassin's Trophy, so now that we drew the land, I'm feeling a little bit better because we can answer there first. Yep, there goes our... We can answer the first Wilderness Reclamation. We could go ahead and try to set up with the Stitcher Supplier, but I think we're going to instead do Seek the Beast at the end of our opponent's turn. I guess we could have ran out another Ragavan, but I want to make sure we make a land drop here. We're only playing 22 lands given how low our curve is. Renin 6 maybe? Yep. So we do have an answer in Assassin's Trophy if we wanted to, but I don't really feel like we want to do Assassin's Trophy on red and 6. We'd still like to hit a land here. Okay, now we're starting to cook with some gas. I forgot. Oh man, I'm tired. Okay, so I forgot. The whole point of not casting the Ragavan that in our second main phase was to do Seek the Beast in response to at the end of their turn to hopefully hit a land. Well, we got lucky at the land anyway. Probably got lucky that we didn't cast the Ragavan last turn because he would have just pinged it with the Ren and 6. So all things considered, I think we did what we were. We ended up playing it the right way, but that was definitely not. That's not what we were going to do in any way whatsoever. Oh man, that's terrible. All right, well now we're going to dash in the Ragavan. I'm going to hit our opponent. See what we hit. Misty Rainforest. All right, so now we can either do Stitcher Supplier and we could do a Footfall Crater. Or we can save up Seek the Beast for real this time. So let's do that. We'll save. This time we're going to save Seek the Beast. We're really going to cast at the end of our opponent's turn, unless they cast a Wilderness Reclamation, at which point we will destroy that with Assassin's Trophy. Another Ragavan and a Thoughtseize. That's nice. So it was the top card. I don't understand. Didn't I? Souls of the Lost. Man, we would have liked to have hit a land there, right? See if this resolves. They're going to do a Shark Typhoon. Okay. 2/2 flyers. Yeah, I mean, they're going to try to just race us. We've hurt ourselves. We're down to 11 already. Six cards over there. See what they have in their hand. Another Ren and 6, a Lightning Bolt, and a Memory Deluge. All right, well, we'll definitely take the Memory Deluge. The Bolt will take care of the Ragavan. Man, we would have liked to hit a land off of that because then that would allow us to do Souls of the Lost and Stitcher Supplier in the same turn. Do we want to risk missing a land? This is frustrating. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be a 4/5. It tells me right there 4/5. Play Stitcher Supplier in the Footfall Crater. Next turn, hopefully they don't draw a counterspell. Just fade one turn of counter magic. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then next turn, we just need to fade the one draw. And next turn, we can cast the Souls of the Lost, sacrificing this, give it haste, and swing in for hopefully a lot more than that. We're going to have to let the Ragavan go away. I mean, how was I supposed to know which questing drew to keep that in that game? Very annoying. If we had done Seek the Beast the turn I wanted to, we would have hit the land plus. I see what they are getting up to. They're cracking their fetch quick. It's got me nervous. We have a plan. Don't mess with our plan, opponent. Yep, get it back. Looks like we might have the Assassin's Trophy. So we would again like to hit a land. And then we could get in with this. So, well, we wouldn't be able to do that anyway. They're thinking, oh, maybe we want to protect the Ren 6. That's right, you do. Land would still be nice. Tarmogoyf isn't bad. So it's still just a 5/6. We could, I mean, what's going to happen here is we're going to have to play the Souls of the Lost, take care of this Ren 6. They're going to cast another one. You know, what's in the graveyard? So this is, oh, it goes to 7. So we have a whole nother turn. All right, well, let's see what we get with by sacrificing this. See how big this thing gets here. And if it resolves. Pretty sure it's going to resolve or they would have attacked. 9/10. Seems good. And this is why we give it haste. And this is why we're playing Footfall Crater for this very moment. We don't care about Ren 6 yet. We can always Assassin's Trophy at next turn. We want to kill our opponent. That's trample. Just saying. All right, they have one turn to draw an answer. Will they have found the answer? And if they do find an answer, hopefully it will take up all their mana and we can play this Tarmogoyf and swing in. Keep the beats coming. Is it scoop time, opponent? Or my janky Footfall Crater Souls of the Lost getting there? This is exactly why we're playing Footfall Crater, for this moment, and I'm glad we get to see it even if I end up losing this game. I mean, this is why we're playing this card. We want to be able to give it haste the turn it comes out into play, give it trample to get through. Johnny Cycles here with CyclesGaming.com. Just wanted to have a little mini wrap up after that victory. Man, I just went, yes! As I was saying, is it scoop time, opponent? And they scooped it up. So this is why this is the deck coming together for the first match for the video. This is why we play Footfall Crater, and this is why we play Stitcher Supplier. I think we might want to go up 2 more Stitcher Suppliers, to be honest. I mean, that was just the exact, I mean, this is it. Hasty, 9/10, Trampler. We get an attack in, the turn it comes into play, and we get through chum blockers, putting our opponent on a 2-turn clock, not caring about Ren 6 or their shenanigans. They didn't have a great hand. I mean, we thought season and saw that we were playing around counter magic that didn't exist, but still. Turn 3, they scooped it up last game. Yeah, they got there in game 1, but we had some awkward running in game 1. Lots of interaction, no real threats. So, yeah, this is why Footfall Crater's in the deck. It's such a powerful card in this deck. We can cycle it away to draw a card and grow our Souls of the Lost that are on the battlefield, or future Souls of the Lost, our Tarmogoyfs, because it's an enchantment. Or we can just do this. And even if we don't want to cycle it away, we can have 2 of them. If it gets to that point, so that if we end up having Souls of the Lost and Tarmogoyf in our hands, let's say we're playing around a sweeper or whatever, cast them both, give them both haste. You know, that takes a lot of mana, 6 mana, but still with treasure tokens and things. Anyway, that was great, wonderful. So happy it worked out that way, and I can't wait to keep testing this deck out. I'm excited. I love the colors. Obviously, John is green followed by red followed by black, or green followed by black followed by red. I don't know, that's the order of the colors I like the most. So maybe I'm really just a John player. All right, well, that's my mini wrap up, and for now I'll say goodnight. This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. I'll see you on the next one. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Janky. I'm Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. Check out my website where you can read articles on my commander decks, my various modern brews, and my science fiction fantasy novel that I'm publishing serially every month. CyclesGaming.com. Be sure to click that like button and subscribe button on YouTube, and I'll see you on the next one.